Hey friends, and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video, I'm going to share with you some homemaking tasks that I'm doing today, but I also wanted to share with you something that has been on my heart for quite a while now, and that is that you do not have to have a beautiful homestead to be a homemaker. Now that might sound silly, but in my last video, I talked about not comparing your home to other people's homes, and that is actually so true because I often see online people sharing about being a homemaker and about being at home with their children, homeschooling their children, or whatever it might be that they share. And I don't know about you, but all the people that I follow actually live in a beautiful home. I don't follow anybody that lives in a big city, in an apartment, and that is sharing about her homemaking life, because I think those people that live there probably don't feel like they should share because their home isn't pretty enough. But it is not about the home that we live in. It is not about whether you live on a homestead or not, because most of us don't have that. The reality for a lot of us is that it takes a lot of sacrifice to actually be able to be a stay-at-home mom. It often means that we need to live on one income. It means making sometimes really hard choices to even be able to afford this life. So I often feel like what we see online is not a great representation of the actual homemaking community, because online, we've seen this mentioned before so many times, but online it is a highlight reel. We always see the things that are good. People that want to share their home usually are the ones that have a beautiful home, and they share their beautiful kitchen and they share their gardens and all the things that they have. And we don't often see all the tiny spots and the people that don't have a big garden and don't have a big house, because those people often don't feel like sharing. And I really feel like that can actually create this sort of image where we feel like if you want to be a good homemaker, you need to have X, Y, and Z. And that is not the case. Homemaking is not about the home or the size of your home. It is not about the things that you do or do not have, and it's not about the tasks that you do or do not do. It is not about what home, what neighborhood, or even what country you live in. That is not what homemaking is about. Being a good homemaker is about the heart. Being a good homemaker has everything to do with your attitude. And before I share a little bit more, I really wanted to share a Bible verse that I love when it comes to being a good homemaker and how we need to really see our home. And that is from Proverbs 14, verse 1. And in the NIV translation, it says, "The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands, the foolish one tears hers down." And I love that verse because if we want to be wise, we need to focus on what God actually says, and we need to build our home with God's principles. And that is actually in the Amplified Bible. There's usually some more explanation to a verse, and that is what I love about this one. Because in this verse, it says in the Amplified Bible, "The wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. But the foolish one, who lacks spiritual insight, tears it down with her own hands by ignoring godly principles." I just love how they put that extra explanation basically in the Amplified Bible, because this is honestly what it's all about. We need to build our home on a foundation of godly principles. That is what makes a house a home. It means that we as women, or we as homemakers, are the ones that are going to build our house. We need to let our household thrive. And that is what it says in this verse, that the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly principles. So that is really what makes you a good homemaker. Are you building your home with God? Are you focusing on what He wants you to do in the home? Are you focusing on what does God tell me to do as a homemaker? And one of the favorite things that I always say is that we have to do everything as unto the Lord. And that is my main principle in the home. Everything that I do has to be as unto the Lord. If God was sitting right next to me, and if He was telling me, "Steph, could you please do the dishes?" would I do it halfway? Or would I say, "Nah, I don't really want to," or "Man, I'll just do it quick and I'll do a better job next time"? No. That is not what I would do if God was sitting next to me. If He asked me to do something in my home, I would do it wholeheartedly, and I would do the very best that I could to do it as well as I can. So why do we not do that right now? Why do we not do that? Because in the Bible, God tells us that we need to do everything as unto the Lord. So if we do our laundry, if we do our homemaking tasks, we need to do them as unto the Lord, because that is what is going to build our house. That is the wisdom that Proverbs 14 talks about. That is what God tells us to do. And along with that, I really believe that if we take good care of our home and if we do everything with a lot of gratitude in our heart, that is what is going to help our house thrive. Because taking care of the home is something that we do because we love the people that are in it. We reduce the clutter, we clean the home, we make delicious meals because we love the people that live in our home. That is what we do this for, and not necessarily because we want to show it online and because we feel like, okay, if I do this and this is going to be a beautiful home. No, we want to turn our house into a home because we want to do it as unto the Lord. And like I said, it's not about the home or the size of it. We live in the Netherlands. We live in a small rental home in the city, and we are very content with that. Would I love to live in a bigger home and live on a homestead? Yes, of course. I would never say no to that. I would love to have a big homestead and have all the land that I can have. But that is not the reality right now. And that doesn't mean I cannot be a good homemaker in the home that I live in now. So while we are content and grateful for what we have here, yes, we can dream and we can have all those things that we would love to have one day. But don't let those dreams and let those things that you would like to have at some point in time take away from the fact that what you have right now is a huge blessing. It is something to be grateful for every single day. And I honestly think that is a lost art in our generation, to be grateful for what we have. We have been taught over the years that we always need to have something bigger and better. If there's a new iPhone, we need to have it. If there's a bigger couch, we need to get the bigger couch. If there's a better car, we need to get the better car. And that is something that through marketing and through social media and TV and radio and all those media platforms, that has been pushed onto us basically to always want bigger and better. But a wise woman builds her house, and a wise woman is one that lives with God, that does everything that she does with God. And God actually tells us so many times in his word that gratefulness is such an important part of our walk with Christ. So I really wanted to encourage you today to focus on what you have, focus on the home that you have and on the house that you have, and don't feel like you cannot be a good homemaker because you don't live in that homestead, you don't have your own vegetable garden, or you don't have your milking cow. If that is not something that you have, that doesn't mean you're a bad homemaker. I really hope that that is something that comes across, because I really feel like that is something that I really need to tell you. So I really hope that this was an encouragement to you, that you really see the beauty of all the things that you actually do have. While you might be dreaming about all the things that you would love to have one day, make sure that you stay focused on all the things that you have right now, because this is what you've been given right now, and this is what we need to be good stewards of in this point in time. So I really hope that that was encouraging, that it was an inspiration to you. And if it was, I would love for you to let me know down below, and I would love to see you in my next video.